Hello there, this is Big Benedict. We're playing Metal Gear Rising Revengeance on Revengeance difficulty, and this is my Blade Wolf DLC S-Rank guide for the aforementioned title and for this guy's campaign. Now, if you immediately go behind that tank right there, then you'll get the no alerts and the no damage right there instantly, and the Gecko will unaggro, and you won't have to fight him with cyborgs and potentially have a hard battle. So this video is video 3 of 4 total videos, and it contains ranked fights 8 through 18. Now this is the first of, the first of 3 VR missions in this one. So the important criteria here to meet is the time criteria, the Zandatsu criteria, and the combo. It doesn't matter too much. But you can't do the, you can't get seen by anything. But the problem is, if you're doing a lot of combo hits and you're trying to build up a big combo, you're going to be wasting time, and time is much more important here. So another thing that's important is to take care of this Fenrir right away. And you can clear this bottom room in any manner of way that you want to, but I found that this was the best way to do it. So we're just doing the hunt kills on these guys. And you don't have to clear everybody in this bottom and top area, but you do have to kill. I would say you do have to kill everybody in the bottom area and several people in the top area. So we're going to sneak up on this guy right here. And if I haven't mentioned it before, Blade Wolf, for the Blade Wolf campaign, you cannot do no kills like you can in Raiden's campaign and Sam's campaign. What you can do is no damage still and no alert. So those are the two bonuses. So here's the last tripod right here. I'm going to take him out. This took me a long goddamn time, but I don't think it took me as long as VR Mission 5, which is that side-scrolling mission, which I can't understand why it took me so long. I just think it's poor handling. But anyway, once you come up here, you can stand right as I'm going to do here, and the Gecko will not see you even if he brushes against you. And the reason I'm taking this guy out is to get another kill and another Zandatsu. Now you want to take him out when he's pretty close to that gun camera, because as you jump back with this character, he gets, like, when he lands, sometimes you can fall off. Like, you'll land on the bottom floor if you're too close to the side, and that just wastes time. So do not get hit by anything here. Don't get seen by anything, and just try not to fall off. It's really easy to fall off, and if you do, I have succeeded after having fallen off, but sometimes you exceed the time limit trying to make up for the falling off. So this is the last guy here, and this is a hard criteria to meet here. So we'll take a look at what happened here. I think it's like under 3 minutes. Yeah. So it's probably 2.5 minutes will give you the top score. The BP is no problem. Get those Zandatsus. Build a decent combo. And things to note over here. If you do that VR mission and then you back up your save, when you restart, or not restart, but when you reload, it's going to have you outside of this mansion. And a word of warning about this: after the next part, when you secure this area here inside the mansion, I have been outside by the gate. I did my S rank, I saved everything, I backed up my save, and then just out of curiosity's sake, I ran back up to where the VR mission is, and I got this spawn again, meaning that it's either a double spawn and it doesn't count, like, you know, you can do it once and then it just keeps repeating, but I don't think that's the case. I think there's some kind of a glitch, so just be really careful about that. I would even go so far as to say you know, every time you fail the next sequence, just make sure you do that sequence again. I know it's pretty shitty, but what can you do? I mean, there are 19 ranked fights in this entire campaign, and you don't want to screw up anywhere. Okay, so there's the checkpoint. Cross the checkpoint, and then fall back here and take out this guy from behind. collect all these things for extra battle points, because this is another ranked fight, as you can see here. And let's see, so we've got a lot of ranked fights over here, and I do want to momentarily discuss the next fight, which is ranked fight 19. It's the final boss battle, Kamsen. You do not have to no damage that motherfucker. I was almost, you know, pretty terrified that I wouldn't be able to beat this campaign, and I was hesitating to publish these videos. But the thing is, I figured out, you see that right there? You can't just simply guard against it like you can with Raiden. You have to perfect parry it to get the prompt, the quick time event. And it's the same type of quick time event where you're tapping the Y button, but you have to earn it a lot more than you do with Raiden. So what I did on the next boss was I honestly, I can't get the parries to work, because you have to parry his attack after iframing your way through a bullet that he shoots, kind of the way Ray shoots a bullet that you can perfect parry in the main campaign, the very first form of Ray, which is really difficult to do and which I've never done yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to eat the damage from the bullet, which takes off like 3% of your health, and just parry, because it's a really easy thing to parry, but it's not an easy thing to iframe your way through the bullet and then parry his attack. I could not get it consistently to work. So the nice thing is, it doesn't matter if you take damage on that boss, as long as you fulfill the other criteria, and the other criteria is rather easy to garner. But I will say this, I had to restart this entire campaign because I didn't have enough sub-weapons to deal with Kamsen, and also I wanted to have a full inventory of sub-weapons, so that all the pickups that you can get on that battle, because there's about 6. There's RP grenades, there's EMP grenades, and there's several nano pastes. I wanted all those to account for my battle points, so I didn't have to do anything else to earn battle points, like sever appendages. So this is a ranked fight too, and it's a couple of Fenrir's, as well as a Cyborg and that Slider, so this is the best way to deal with it. But in the next video, I have everything laid out. It'll be in the bottom of the screen, just like I did with the Armstrong final boss battle, my S-rank guide for Raiden's campaign. That was a mouthful, but it will all be on the bottom of the screen for the criteria, and I'll walk you through it. It'll be a brief video, but it will be a helpful one. And if you're worried about the boss, don't be, because I have a really good strategy to deal with it. He's not too hard, and the criteria is pretty low. So there's another S rank right there. Make sure you back up your save. And now we'll have a couple of grads to deal with. I think I get spotted over here, and I sacrifice the no alert clear bonus, but that doesn't always forfeit your rank. And in one of the earlier videos I said that we're going to have to no damage this campaign. It's not true at all. You don't even have to perfectly stealth it either. It's pretty flexible. In some parts it's rather rigid, but in many other parts it's flexible. The area that I wasted all of my resources on was VR Mission 5 with Wolf, and I think it's much harder than VR Mission 4. VR Mission 4 is another one of those where you can take damage. It's really an easy trial. But the one when you're playing as like Mario Brothers in VR Mission 5, where the screen is scrolling and the handling is just pretty bad, and it's just, you can tell it wasn't, it's not Mario Brothers. And I was thinking to myself, I didn't buy this game to play situations and trials like Mario Brothers. And then I reconsidered that, and I said, well, it's part of the Metal Gear experience, so I'm just going to embrace it and enjoy it as best as I can. But the thing is, on that trial, you can't take damage. It's one of those more rigid areas of the game, and there's only one small little fight where you can't take damage, and a lot of the deaths that I earned were platforming deaths, plain and simple. You know, I cleared the fight without taking damage. I'm talking about the fight with all the little tripods, and then the two cyborgs with shields, which is an area that you can go back to and spawn the humanoid gecko. But it was after doing that fight a couple of times where my palms started to get sweaty because I was absolutely terrified of platforming deaths, and the platforming deaths were so numerous. It was soul crushing. It took me 3 or 4 hours to get that done. But I have a pretty good technique, you know, as I always find something to do. And another really good thing to do is to throw the 3D photo frames at those tripods to get them distracted so that you could actually stealth kill them. But you don't get credit for that. You don't get hunt kills for that. So, this is not a ranked engagement here. So feel free, I can say that. We've got like 3 geckos over here. But since we're going to be fighting these geckos in the next trial, VR Mission 4, you'll probably want to get practiced in fighting because you're going to have to fight some enemies. But sub-weapons are not prohibited and they are very helpful. So what I would say is have all of your weapons, sub-weapons ready to be used. And any that you do use, they can be farmed for after the VR mission indefinitely to refill your inventory. There's a parry right there. Maybe it doesn't do. I swear it does do that. The Y button prompt. I'm not sure what happened right there. But really handy sub weapons to use in VR Mission 4, which is coming right up. The EMPs are really handy, as are the RP grenades, because you can throw the RP grenades in the final wave and do hunt kills on the geckos, and you can also do a hunt kill on one of the Fenrir's, whom you could see in the opening scene, which will be right over here in a moment. You can see him running up to one of the platforms, and when I chased him down the first time, I noticed that he jumped off, and I didn't even try to jump after him. I think maybe I moved a little bit, and I got that B button prompt from the very edge of the platform. I'll show you where it is. Okay, so you see these Fenrir's here? You'll see one of these guys jump way back there. See him? He's jumping up there. We'll deal with him in wave 2. So, this one has a very strict time requirement. I think you have to do it within 4 minutes. So I would say use this wave here as a good estimate of how you're doing. If you can't take this guy down pretty quickly, then just restart. The biggest time killer is probably the Raptor. So when you have that guy with the little circle going over him and his stun status, put on an electrolyte pack, which we'll be farming for in the next area too. So jump up here, and this guy will jump down. Just do the hunt kill, and you'll get credit for that, I believe, at the final tally sheet. Get these Zandatsus. And the best thing to do on these tripods is to go into blade mode and just sever them. Or use this to blind everybody and then do the blade mode. The Raptor has some pretty interesting tells because they kind of are delayed, and it really will separate skilled players from novice ones. So it's very crucial to use those electrolyte packs and get the stun. So if you don't know, if you're kind of new to the game, what I've been doing is editing those times out when I'm accessing the electrolyte packs. Not because I'm ashamed that I'm using them or anything like that. It's pretty clear that I'm using them. It's just so that everything is seamless and there's no disruptions to the video. But whenever an enemy is stunned and reeling and in that stun status, they're subject to the YB button prompt, which if it's not there, it's because you don't have full fuel cells, so use the electrolyte pack. This sequence here, we have 2 geckos and I believe 2 Fenrir's, so use the RP grenades, and you could actually do hunt kills on the geckos and save a lot of time. Let's throw another one. Sneak right up behind him. Unfortunately, you can't do the hunt kills on the Fenrir's, but it isn't too bad because they go down rather quickly, and just look for the openings of the parries. You know, don't worry about taking damage over here. It's not going to count against you. Well, I mean, it does, but it's not. You're not being judged solely based on that. So after this, you'll have some depleted resources, and I will let you know what's over in this next area, because we're heading back to the beginning of the game on Raiden's campaign. So today is I think it's the 11th, and the Evil Within DLC came out, and I must have forgotten about this fact that I'm going to say right now, but these sons of bitches who programmed the game do not have the option to invert the x-axis. And I don't know if it's specific to the DLC, it probably isn't, but I can hardly play the game the way it is with the camera like that. So I don't know if I'm going to be covering it. They have the... See, the thing is, they have the Y inversion an option, but not the X. It's like, I don't know, it's hard for me when I'm so used to moving the camera a certain way on the X-axis. So up here, this is another ranked engagement. There's just 2 raptors to take care of, but you can't just go after the raptors. You have to kill the tripods that are the little alert sounders, and then wait till this guy falls back, and then once you kill this guy, you'll get your score sheet, a checkpoint, and then you'll be able to fight this Mastiff up there, and it's not a ranked engagement. However, if you just run past him up the cargo containers, he'll unspawn. However, you don't want to do that. You want to get this RP grenade. You want to get the electrolyte pack over to the right. You won't see me farming for items because I can just edit it out. But things to farm for over here, you can farm for nanopastes, electrolyte packs, RP grenades, and EMP grenades. So almost everything you need, you can farm for over here. And to reiterate, how do you farm for stuff? You just grab it, go back to the VR mission. You can go back to the VR mission even when you conclude this fight over here, which is pretty damn annoying. I hate this fight. So the idea is we've got a Fenrir guarding the door, and you can go behind him. Whoops, I missed that one. Sorry about that, you guys. You can go behind the Fenrir and do a hunt kill on him. Love that clipping. Just love that fucking clipping. You can stealth kill the Fenrir, but getting to him is rather difficult because the sliders are pursuing this area over here. So a good tactic actually is, if you sound the alert, as I believe I do, wage the fight against the Fenrir inside the building, as I don't think I do, but on subsequent playthroughs I did, because the sliders won't shoot at you. They can't really shoot at you. They certainly do not go indoors from out here, so you can take advantage of that. Just go in that door right over there where there's an item and fight him in there so that the sliders can't shoot you. If you're standing like right by where the door is, they might be able to hit you a little bit, but they basically ignore you. So we're gonna go in here now and just make sure before you hit this button that you have all of your resources. And this is the dreaded VR mission 5. I mean, it could be a really easy mission for some other people, but for me, there was nothing easy about this. So you have to take no damage over here, and the best thing to do is to just go off of the screen over here. Now you want to run off the screen until you see those 2 enemies on top of that up here, right over here to the top right. When they disappear, stop, because if you move too far over to the right, you'll notice that you have some damage off you, and it's because you've ran into that spike right there at the very bottom. See that one? So just stop in your tracks, and then when the screen catches up to you, just move the character normally, and you can avoid those guys with the rocket launchers. So the biggest criteria here is just no damage and just succeeding on it. I think they increased the difficulty of this on Revengeance difficulty and very hard somehow. You see how you see that little shift right there? That can screw you up too. If you're anywhere near when the screen is scrolling up, you disappear and you die. So watch out for that. And then here is a moment of truth over here. You notice that I have electrolyte packs equipped, because it doesn't matter if you die, it doesn't save your death. And also, if we get hit, we have to restart anyway. So I'm going to put these on so I can use blade mode and keep refilling my electrolyte packs. Now these guys are going to drop right over here, and I would recommend using blade mode so that it slows down a little bit. Constantly use blade mode, and then when most of them are dead, like when you've killed all but 2 or 3, then throw the little statue, the hologram statue, and then they'll do their little clapping animation, their dance, and then some of them will be subdued. This is really hard for me because these guys, these little shits, they love to just jump on you and take damage off you. Now, you notice we're doing hunt kills right here, but these don't count as hunt kills because they're already somewhat apprised of our status. But that's wave 1 of 2. So you're going to have another batch dropping in. Don't worry about the geckos, just parry that attack right there, get the parry, and get the Zandatsus here for the bonus points. And then immediately use blade mode. And when you're in this mode, keep pressing down on the D-pad when you're running low to refill your fuel cells. And that can be pretty damn difficult. But I found that anyway, also, you can come back over to there and kill that humanoid gecko for like 5,000 to 10,000 BP, but trust me, you will not need it. So this is the hands sweating profusely moment for me because I'm so nervous. The jumping is pretty damn horrible in this game, and I don't know, something in me sabotages me because I died so many times, like in this part, because I wanted to win so bad. So, see, 1, 2, this one that I landed on right there, that disappears. So don't stay on that one for too long. It's pretty sadistic. But I believe the S rank is 5,000 or more. So here's another ranked fight. It'll be the final one. So when you come up here, this guy will always come in here. And then just double back, execute him. Watch how far Blade Wolf jumps back. See? Sometimes you'll be hanging like halfway out the room. So then this one will approach the door, but he won't come through it, and then he'll turn around. And then you can stab him. And then we'll have 1, 2, 3 tripods and 1 cyborg. So the best way I found to do this is to walk up a bit, get the little yellow icon, meaning they're... Oh, no, my bad. That only worked for something else. Just sprint over here. And then what you need to do is put your AR mode on, glance up, and then when this guy... You can do this either way. I think this way is a little safer, though, because more distance is crossed by him on the other side. So take a look at the cyborg right there. When he turns his back to head to the tripod over there, then go for this kill right here. You don't have to do this no damage, but it's pretty damn difficult if enemies are shooting at you. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to wait right here. Wait until he turns to go to that tripod where it says 26.6 meters right there, 26.7, and then jump up here. And you can kind of sprint your way over here and then just take this guy out. And the tripod over there to the left won't see you. I don't sprint over to him, I just walk because I just don't trust it. But then we have one more tripod downstairs, and that's where I'm going to do the little, get the yellow icon, the alert status. so that he moves away from the door, and we can take him out. It's kind of interesting how I figured it out how to do this. Stand right here, jump. He'll see something. He'll come to investigate. What these guys do is they'll come investigate. They'll come to a stop somewhere, and then they will teleport back to where they came. So what we need to do is stand right over here. He'll teleport right there, and then you can just go around the pillar, take him out from behind, and then that's a hard fight to figure out how to do that one. But that's the end of video number 3, and I will see you for Kamzan. He's coming right up. It'll be the boss battle for Blade Wolf's campaign. Take care.